Hundreds of people gathered here in Bukasa in Wakiso district to listen to what the minister would have to say to them regarding their eviction from this land. The minister argued that the land is to be used as an inland port and the residents would be compensated accordingly. Some of the legislators that represent the people of Bukasa argue that the government failed to undertake consultations with the residents and most of them were taken by surprise.
They started surveying people's land without speaking to them. So they now have come to speak to people after they saw them surveying the area. So you don't hold the population in contempt. That for you will go and survey and then you can come and speak to them.
According to some of the residents, most of the population in the area will be affected, whereby they currently have schools and a number of churches.
Basically, they are taking the biggest part of the village, which has churches, about 5 churches, which has a population of about 10,000 people. And these are some of the people who have been chased away from some other places in Nakawa, and they have decided to settle here. So
leave the place and go.
Prime Minister of Uganda, if I'm not hiding anything,
on record, government doesn't even compensate people on time and adequately, and yet the land here is very, very expensive.
The forest reserve covers an expanse of over 1,000 acres and has already been subdivided, a move that some legal analysts regard as illegal.
The forest reserve, as we speak now, has been already subdivided without even going to parliament. And for all the processes that they have used are all wrong. They first need to go to parliament, degazette the forest reserve before they even come and acquire private ownership lands that people have built in this area.
Experts also argue that the government's basis of acquiring this land failed to follow the correct procedures.
The minister is basing on a repealed law that is the basis of acquisition of land. They're saying that people actually, that the ministry wants 500 hectares, which is basically 1,235 acres to build an inland port. When you look at Hong Kong, which is the third biggest port in the world and the busiest port in the world, it sits on 600 acres of land.
For many of the residents here, they have spent millions of shillings to build their lives in this area, and they are doubtful whether or not they will ever receive the compensation they are promised. Even after the minister's efforts to try and convince the people that they will be compensated duly, the residents here are not convinced, arguing that government has on most times come out with different projects, but they have never been compensated. Maurice, Ochol, NTV.